Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, Chow, and today's episode I'm going to do another reaction video, and it's actually a reaction on two different videos that I just sort of saw really close to each other, and I just realized how close they are, how well they are related to each other, and it sort of adds, some extra points and that kind of stuff. But otherwise, yeah, it's actually a relatively very well written video. Anyway, before I begin, I want to remind people to go down below, click like, click subscribe. Any comments that you have, will definitely help the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, this is sort of a nice sort of personal story kind of thing. So again, this is really nice that if you like to add in your personal story to the comments, definitely that would be great. If you wish also to support me financially, I do have the PayPal and Patreon links below, as well as the YouTube thanks button for bringing up these great stories and good comments, the things that are going on in modern day, as well as things that happen that correspond to the events that that we bring forward, and that's good to do that once in a while. So today's topic is a reaction video on the topic of women who see anime as a biggest red flag in a man when looking for a partner. And I just found this, this topic rather very interesting that someone actually went to that extreme to say that the biggest ick that they find is that because you like anime, we will immediately dismiss you as a person. And so I found it really interesting because of the fact that in our history, that is how the term otaku and everything got created, right? I mean, initially the term otaku referred to this guy who is in their parents' basement watching hentai and playing these X Games or something or whatever. Back in the day when, of course, things like the personal computer and the all those NEC 98 color games and that kind of stuff all sort of were occurring, right? So it wasn't a very shall we say, a very nice term, okay? Like as I've had said in previous episodes about the word otaku, it'll refer to people of this particular nature, right? So they were not, just like the word Trekkies, they were not, well-liked people. They were, determined to be nerds or outcasts, weirdos and whatnot. So the word really took on a very negative connotation, okay? And as what has happened as time goes on, anime has gained a lot more, presence. They even, I think there's a big change when things like Otaku no Video came out, and North American culture sort of grasped that. That was sort of at the same time where all the things like magical girl shows and the whole entire proliferations of Toonami and all that kind of stuff really brought anime to the forefront. So no longer was it just a really niche market that only certain people just traded the videos between each other, a very obscure type of thing. Everything all that kind of got brought forth into popular culture. People started being able to see things in the movie theaters, and there's a lot wider acceptance of it. The products and the things available for these sort of mediums, which I would argue also includes things like Star Wars and Star Trek and things like this. When you start seeing it available at just regular common places like Walmart and Barnes and Noble and that kind of stuff, then it is actually hitting more popular culture. More people are being exposed to it. More people can see the merchandise, and they realize, okay, maybe it's not so it's not just the weirdos in the basements that are that are buying this stuff, that's collecting this stuff, that's watching this stuff, right? It's everyday ordinary people can now watch it and see it and enjoy it, and they get interested in the characters and the storytelling and the whole lessons learned and that kind of stuff. and interactions that happen, just like any other sort of popular culture or media and whatnot, right? And then soon anime joined this, this sort of part of popular culture, and so it's shifted from being a really negative thing, and you shall say, I'll say, the incel kind of community, if you will, into the more, accepted, it's recognized as a genre type now, a very, very big popular genre type now. The number of females that are now interested in anime has definitely increased. At least now people know what the word anime even means, things like that. They've invented new words like weeboos and all their stuff to to classify different people of this sort of nature. But it's just how we invented words like Trekkies and that kind of stuff, right? Otaku. We've now sort of changed that definition now, and so I'm gonna play these videos and put them together. Credits down below for them if you want to check out their entire video, because obviously this is already getting to be about 20 minutes long. Just the way with just me clipping up the clips. So if you want to watch the entire video of these two, the links are below so that you can watch them entirely. All right, because both the video that does the reaction and as well as the original story was actually really good, because I said I'm really into these high school stories and that kind of stuff, because it really does bring back a lot of memories and that kind of stuff, and a lot of times they actually really do apply in some way, or I can tell you people that I've encountered that fit exactly in these roles. So that's why I find it so fascinating sometimes watching these type of shows. Anyway, won't take up any longer. Let's get into the video. I'll play the video and then I'll stop and interject as I see fit to see to put the points in and show you how they both kind of overlap. All right. So without further delay, let's begin.
Getting a lot pickier, aren't they? I mean, you can't escape it. It's the bar is in hell here. It's men ain't shit here. We've got ick lists. Have you seen the ick list? Men can't ride bikes, they can't order girly drinks, they can't swim funny, they can't bowl funny. Every day online, it seems, I am warned as a woman that some tiny, superficial, almost meaningless trait is actually a deadly quality in a man that I need to avoid at all costs. And I get having high standards. I get having strong boundaries. I think that people are allowed to have as high of standards for their own dating preferences as they want. I'm not telling you that you can't say that you need a 6-foot-tall, well-hung millionaire. I will say you might be culling your dating market herd expeditiously. I do fear that a lot of these new standards, requirements, or ick lists are just things that are causing us to destroy our own dating pool. Let me give you just one example of this.
The biggest red flag that you should ever have in a man is if he likes anime.
Anime has the biggest red flag.
That was my first thought. The biggest?
I know that it's not all women thinking as such, because a lot of women are anime fans.
Yeah, we don't claim her.
It's just sad that a girl could find a guy that is perfect, that checks all the green boxes, but wouldn't give him the time of day because he loves anime. Because she considers that as the biggest red flag. Not him being a player, a cheater, a lying piece of shit, or him putting his hands on women in a violent way. Nah. He loves anime, that's a no-go, that's a red flag.
The creator who sent that to me is a guy named Greg Michaels. You should definitely go check him out. But really, we had the exact same reaction. Like, the biggest red flag, a guy's biggest red flag, you're saying, is if he likes anime.
Ew, no one wears Vans anymore.
And you watch anime? Just when I thought you couldn't get any more lame.
No wonder she has no friends.
Anyways, what are you doing tonight after school?
We're actually watching anime.
He's kidding. No, I don't watch anime.
Okay, good, because I cannot be involved in that nerdy crap.
Some women out there, they truly have no sense of self-preservation whatsoever. To me, either I'm reading way too into this or I'm just good at pattern recognition, but she strikes me as the kind of person who learned very early on in life, probably because there was really no sense of urgency for her to do anything else, that being popular, being socially accepted is the number one most important thing above all else.
Is that a popularity checklist?
It's all the things I need to change so I can finally date Cody.
Hey,
I can't wait to watch the basketball game later.
I can't wait to plan it. Should be a doozy.
Above ensuring that a man has emotional stability, can control his temper and attitude even during hard times, is friendly and humble and takes care of others. No, her number one priority is making sure that she is not seen with some weeb. Like, I'm sorry, but that's all it really comes down to, is that she was conditioned to believe that anybody who watches anime is a nerd, an outcast, someone you just don't want to be seen with. She never grew out of that need to have these cliques and to attempt to be the queen bee of the cool girls.
Someone call the fire department. You look so hot.
Seriously, you are perfection. How do you look so good all the time? Stop it. You guys are too much.
I think you dropped this.
Oh my gosh, you're such a lifesaver. Thanks, Cody.
Don't mention it.
Cody is so gonna ask you to prom.
He's so into you. Good, because then I'll be a shoo-in for prom queen if I go with Cody.
This is a person who established an us versus them at a very early age and is probably just never going to change. I can tell you this is certainly a person who has never actually gotten to know someone who likes anime. Or she's just universally recognized as such a judgmental person that the people in her life who do like anime would never talk to her about it. Because the only reason that anime used to be seen as nerdy or weird back in the day is because it wasn't widely circulated. It wasn't viral, it wasn't super popular, and so people just didn't really understand it.
She is correct on all these points. I'm just going to add one other one, and that is the fact that the types of anime that were available in the 80s and through the 90s wasn't designed, specifically for all audiences. They were still primarily built for the male audience. And so if you look at some of the titles here from my most significant animes from the 80s, you'll see that most of the titles are, shows having to deal with sci-fi. So a lot of the Captain Harlock, Space Cruiser Yamato, the Gundams. There's a lot of shows that are a lot of fan service type of shows and that kind of stuff. Of course, there's you'll have your Junk Boy, your Cream Lemons, Lemon Angel, and things like that. Of course, you got lots of cyberpunk mecha type shows, Bubblegum Crisis, Megazone 23, and things like this. So where are the ones that the women would watch, right? Where was all the other stuff for the other genre, right? Sure, there was things like Orange Road and Maison Kaku and things like that, but of course, those weren't translated and gone through until quite late, right? Obviously, licensing and all and that kind of stuff from Aniego didn't occur for Orange Road until obviously, into the late 1990s, right? Before they actually got into that one, right? And of course, things like Sailor Moon didn't arrive until '95. So things like this, really play into when anime became socially more acceptable, right? Just like it's just in the same way that how Star Wars and Star Trek became more acceptable as more of the movies came out, and as the popularity, the fandom, obviously became more accepted. Also, the themes also had to be changed and be able to encompass a lot more different things. Obviously. A lot of the popularity in, for example, Star Trek became, greatly escalated after Deep Space Nine, and and of course, the release of Voyager, for example, really helped, bring in a whole bunch of other themes and other things and whatnot that would probably, make the series more rounded, bring more interest in that respect. Okay, so yeah, definitely the types of anime and that were being released, basically made it more inclusive for the female audiences as well, and that basically was half the market that was out there.
We know now that watching cartoons as adults is perfectly fine, and if we would have known it back then, we wouldn't have completely outcast those people. The only reason those people were outcast was because of people like the person who made this video, not because there's anything actually wrong with anime. Let's take a pretty well-known anime like Pokemon, for example. Talk about a show and a game that has united generations. People are already playing Pokemon with their kids. Where is the red flag there?
So here I've pulled up both my account and my son's account on Pokemon Go, and you can see that his creatures that he's done up is a lot more further progressed than mine. He's almost got 11 pages of Pokemon that have been powered up over 3,000 CP. He has basically about 13 pages of Pokemon that are over 3,000. I only have 9. So this gives you an indication of just how much Stardust and how much candy and that kind of stuff was pumped into all these monsters and that kind of stuff. And not just only that, if you look at the most powerful characters that he has, he has again powered up his white Kyurem and his fusion kind of guys and whatnot way higher than mine, and that again takes a lot more resources and a lot more XL candy, again, which requires a lot more further progress in the game.
You want to know something else funny? I bet you every gym crush she has ever had has Dragon Ball Z music on their playlist while they're lifting. Now, because of some cultural differences, I can see how some people see anime as maybe being like more perverted than typical American cartoons. Fan service is a thing, but getting on a high horse about it and pretending like American culture is so much more morally superior and above that is delusional. Like, come on, we can be gross too.
Got some crystal meth. I figured we could do it together as father and son. I don't know about that. Tell you what, I'll get us started. That feels better.
You sure that stuff is okay?
All I know is the guys who made it are dead. Why is there no hole in this wall? Ground zero. So this is where the first guy got AIDS.
Peter, this is the site of the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Oh, so Saddam Hussein did this?
No.
The Iraqi army?
No.
Some guys from Iraq?
No.
That one lady who visited Iraq that one time?
No, Peter, Iraq had nothing to do with this. It was a bunch of Saudi Arabians, Lebanese, and Egyptians financed by a Saudi Arabian guy living in Afghanistan and sheltered by Pakistanis.
So you're saying we need to invade Iran?
But more importantly, there is so much more to anime than that. There is probably an anime for every single interest out there in the world. You like to cook, there's an anime for that. You like farming, there's an anime for that. Fashion, anime. Like, really think about this. You have decided that the most dangerous and harmful quality that a man could possibly exhibit is being interested in a form of animation that can take on so many various shapes, sizes, worlds, and imaginations.
Huh?
That was the worst thing you could ever think of. And you might be thinking, well, when you phrase it like that, it doesn't sound so bad. Guess what? Because it's never been bad. What I described is what anime has always been. It's just so short-sighted and reductionist to automatically assume that anyone who likes anime must be nerdy or antisocial or childish. Hayao Miyazaki's work, for example, is not only stunningly gorgeous with some of the most well-written characters you will ever see, but his work also focuses on compassion, community, resilience, and how our place in nature will be remembered. The reason so many athletes love the story of Naruto, for example, is because it focuses a lot on the bonds between rivals and teammates, as well as things like forgiveness. One Piece is an amazing anime about pirates, which a lot of people treasure for all of their themes of loyalty, friendship, sacrifice.
I like your drawing. Really? Everyone else seems to think that it's lame. Nah, anime is cool. If anything, I think social media is lame.
100% agree. Speaking of cool, I'm a little jelly of your shirt. That's my favorite manga.
No way, I have the same one. Isn't the pacing in this one so much better than volume 84?
Yes, and it looks like that's not the only thing we have in common.
Vans are so much cooler than Lululemon, Ralph Lauren, or
PacSun. I can't stand when everyone just is the same just because it's cool or mainstream. I mean, who wants to be a carbon copy?
It's super annoying, doing everything everyone else wants to do. Like my brother's in high school and all he talks about is going to prom. I'd never go.
Right? That's all my older cousin talks about is prom. I'd rather eat barf. We should make a pact right now that if we're still friends in high school, we'll watch anime, eat pizza, and sit under fuzzy blankets instead of going to prom senior year. Deal?
Deal.
I'm Daria, by the way. What's your name?
Steve.
Here, this is for you.
Thanks.
Remember?
The creator of One Piece, Oda, also donated $8 million to relief efforts. Anime conventions have raised millions of dollars for hospitals and research as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, but my final response is that if you're gonna call a guy a red flag just for watching anime, that says way more about you than him. Saying it's the biggest red flag tells me that you care more about clout and image than you do about sincerity, honesty, character. Anime fans are engaging with stories that talk about friendship, perseverance, and creativity. You're obsessing about how your boyfriend's hobbies are gonna look on your Instagram story. Which one of those is the real red flag? And like I always say, you're allowed to have whatever kind of preferences that you want for dating. If she doesn't like anime, she doesn't get it, it's not her thing, and she'd rather date someone with more common interests, that's fine. But calling liking it the biggest red flag is the thing that I just can't get past. You definitely don't have to date anybody who likes anime. It's just that why are you painting them to other people as people who are dangerous? When we have men, like Greg said, actually laying hands on women, emotionally harming them, cheating on them, you'd rather get cheated on than know that your man watched an episode of Fairy Tale? Honey, I'm home. Oh my God! Oh, thank God. That's just another woman in our bed. I thought you were reading Inuyasha. Okay, time to go over our monthly bill. What? this? Oh, thank God, it's just a gambling addiction. I thought he was buying anime again. I'm just gonna check his drawers for something. Oh, God. Oh, thank God, it's just a crack pipe. I thought it was manga. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? And again, like, maybe this is a good thing. I'm glad that she is letting this all be known so that people who like anime and are good men can just avoid that situation.
All right, I hope you found that really interesting. And it's just this, no, it's not whether you agree or disagree or whatever. Because everyone has their own taste, everyone has their own story, which is, that's fine. But I just found it really interesting that how much this sort of thing kind of lined up precisely on my history as well. And I figure if usually if things sort of appears in one person's history and that kind of stuff, it most likely probably occurs in many others as well. And that's I wanted to point this out, and maybe I said this kind of aligns with your history as well. Okay, so until next time, I will see you again.